I like to be interactive. I'm going to ask you guys some questions. I'm going to ask for participation because here's part of the reason why I need you to get your body involved when you're involved in the process of learning. Imagine if I were going to try to teach you how to ride a bike. You didn't know how to ride a bike and you needed to learn. There'd be maybe two potential ways we could go about doing this. The one way would be that I could get up on a stage like this and I could talk for 90 minutes about how you would ride that bike, how you would, apply the pressure just so in particular directions, how you'd lean in and lean out. And do you think if at the end of that session you had heard everything I had to say, you would actually know how to ride the damn thing? No. Because you intuitively get that in order for you to learn something, you have to not just have the concepts rattling around in your head, okay? So from now on, I want us to make sure that we have the same definitions. So when I talk about intellectual learning, that's what I'm talking about, is you just hearing something dryly and going, oh yeah, no, that's a cool thing, that's nice, I remember him saying that, versus it being something you can do. Make sense? So if we're going to make you a better communicator, what we've got to do is make sure you actually know how to ride the bike. Because if you just heard about how somebody else rides the bike, it doesn't do you any good. How many of you follow? Raise your hand and say aye. Aye. All right, so we got to get the body involved. I've got to be able to ask you questions. I need you to first take stock of your energy, make sure you're here and present, and then we're going to make sure that you actually take action with this. Because if you hear regular concepts, just passively kind of listen to a talk or a webinar or whatever the case is, in 3 days, and they've actually studied this, in 3 days you would have forgotten over 90% of the material. If you write, take notes as we're going along, you dramatically increase that retention, but only to about 30-35%. The absolute best way to make sure that you go from hearing about how somebody knows how to ride a bike to actually being able to do it without thinking is to actually get it in your body and do it and use it. Make sense? So we're going to make sure that we get you some time to make that happen. So let me chart a course as for what we're going to talk about over the course of the next hour, because I want you guys to get excited about this. I would like to make sure you have some core understandings, skills, and distinctions so that you can congruently walk up to anybody and have the utter confidence to tell them who you are, what you represent, have absolutely no reservations about that, not feel like you're going to be judged, criticized, not feel like you have to hold back, and also know that you can lead that person to a place where they will say, when's your next meeting? That would be a very exciting thing for you, would it not? The skills of effective influence and persuasion are universal. And I want to share with you those distinctions because I've literally made it my obsession. Ask my team members and they will tell you how obsessed I am with this stuff, to learn all of the top level distinctions for the world's top influencers to figure out how are these people doing it? How can somebody bring somebody from one place of polarization to a place of alignment with your values? And guess what? The good news is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to learn every mistake all for the first time. You can learn from other people's mistakes and you can close the learning curve immensely. And then you can take it far further by applying what has already been found out to work, using it, adding your own flavor to it, your own distinctions to it, making it congruent with your character, riding the bike in your particular style, so to speak, and then going that much further with it. If you were able to compress 5 years of experience, compact it, and be able to take it with you, wouldn't you want to do that? Wouldn't you want to save yourself that pain? Okay.